the level of intimacy, just in that one word quantum, knew that I could ask those things and that I would get those kind of answers. It was very serendipitous and just just so romantic and beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I was in instantly just over that, and it was magical. And I knew I had to get to Miami.
Hey, everyone. Today's episode is by far the most intimate episode to date, given that I get to introduce you to the extraordinary human being I'm calling my person. Though I suppose it's interchangeable with partner, significant other, boyfriend, beau. I'm not that into labels, but what I am into is connection, love, respect, compassion, health, intimacy, intuition, peace, freedom, growth, and discovering the things I don't know. And I feel like those are all really important components of our relationship and reasons why having him on this show is in total alignment. And guess what? He has a name. It's Quinn Donahue. Quinn has a fascinating life story to share. He lives in Austin, Texas, where he was born and raised. He has a lifelong passion for music, which is the industry in which he's built his career. It was 4 years ago when he made a dramatic shift from the stereotypical music business kind of lifestyle, the party scene, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, to doing yoga daily and following a spiritual path of self-discovery and growth. And a year ago, he felt called to further his health and embody compassion for all living beings by going vegan. Another huge shift, given that he was a hunter in the past. In this episode, we focus on the story of how we met and even act out our very first messages back and forth, which is pretty fun. And I do want to mention, if you're not familiar with the term quantum, which we reference quite a bit, I encourage you to stay tuned for our future episodes together, where we'll be diving into deep discussions about our journeys down what is often called the quantum rabbit hole. And in the meantime, there's a documentary called What the Bleep? Down the Rabbit Hole. I think something like that. But I'll add that to the show notes in case you're interested. So yeah, our plan is to sprinkle into this interview-based podcast this type of episode where Quinn and I have super raw and organic, holistic health and wellness forward conversations on topics big and small. I'm personally really interested in the intersection of science and spirituality. We'll be sharing our personal journeys intimately with you, which means we're going to laugh and probably cry. It's just that, we both have very open hearts at this point in our lives. My trip to Peru with ayahuasca last year really opened my heart on a whole new level. And I know we'll get into that in future episodes as well. And most importantly, our intention is to help spark profound discoveries for our listeners. That's you. And by the way, before we dive in, I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth, who sent me an email yesterday that said, and I quote, "Loving the reboot, and it's only day one." So if you haven't taken advantage of the 22 reboot challenge yet, I highly encourage you to take the leap and go all in. It is such a powerful program that gives you a structured 22-day process for replacing your unhealthy habits with new habits that will become your new way of life, resulting in more energy, releasing excess body fat, improving your digestion, experiencing more peace and joy, just to name a few of the benefits. I really did create it with professionals, entrepreneurs, and mission-driven leaders in mind. But it's a system that will absolutely help anyone who is having trouble prioritizing their health and self-care. So if that's you, check it out. I'll put the link in the show notes. And yeah, enough of all that. Let's do this. And here we are. Hey, babe.
Hello, babe.
This is exciting.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Very, very happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on and to have this experience together.
Absolutely.
I have a feeling that a good way to start is to kind of let people know how we met, and maybe we, well, spoiler alert, it was a dating app. But
Okay.
do you want to start and share kind of how you even got on this dating app so we can start to paint this picture for people of how we met just 3 months ago now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months ago. Yeah. So I'm scrolling on social media as we do. I come across a dating app ad. Throws me over to the app store, starting to think maybe I should get back into looking at dating apps. I'd quit them for a long time. Just kind of given up going that route, finding my mate that way.
Mm-hmm.
Went on the app store and decided to search vegan dating apps because that's my flavor.
And how long
And
has that been your flavor?
just over a year.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so August of last year, I downloaded this dating app in July of this year, go on a trip with some friends, get back and start looking at the app. I'd had it for maybe 2-3 weeks.
First of all,
And
this was not an, you've got to say what trip this was, because
okay, sorry.
I love this trip because I want to go next
um,
one.
I'd go on a trip to the Grand Canyon with my best group of best friends, 28 folks or so, every 3 years. This was the third time I've done it. It's magical, to say the least. You raft the entire Grand Canyon, all 280 miles, over 8 days. You sleep on the river. You bask in God's glory. It's refreshing, to say the least. So obviously didn't use the app or look at the app till I got back from that beautiful trip. Downloaded a vegan dating app, went on the trip, just kind of messing around with it, and lo and behold, this beautiful woman named Ella reaches out and likes me, and that was the beginning of the rest of our lives.
Mm. Yeah.
How long had you been on the app? Had you tell us.
I think I had been on that particular app for several years, probably since it first came out, because I've been vegan myself for 28 years. And, I've known my purpose on earth is to be a voice for animals and to be a voice for compassion for all living beings since I was 7 years old. So when there was a vegan dating app, I mean, I knew I was around when there was nobody around me even knew what the word vegan was. So having a vegan dating app seems pretty cool, pretty awesome. That said, the percentage of people who are vegan on this earth is relatively small. So I had oscillated back and forth between vegan dating apps and regular dating apps and no dating apps. And really, I mean, the last many years, I've been more focused on myself, my own growth. I've been through some periods of burnout where I ended up in the Amazon jungle doing ayahuasca for 12 days, kind of thing. So dating really wasn't a big priority for me for the last few years. And I kind of went back and forth of saying, well, I just got to go on faith, right? Like, do I really spend time and energy and effort looking for the right person, or do I trust the universe to bring that person to me, right? And then you go back and forth and you're like, well, it doesn't mean the universe is going to do all the work. Like, I think I probably have to do some of the work. So I would kind of go on and go off. And I had decided that, you know what, I know that I cannot end up with somebody who's going to be eating animals. And so I was kind of in a phase of when I traveled, I would turn on the app because I think the app has maybe a 500-mile radius.
Hmm.
And if it had a global radius, I would have put the global radius on because I'm pretty free to travel. And I kind of felt like, yeah, I'm looking for a needle in a haystack here, and so I'm willing to travel for love. So I was coming back from the Organic Produce Summit in Monterey, California, where I was speaking, and I was flying through Dallas, DSW, and turned on the dating app because I said, well, when I go to a different airports, I will turn it on and get kind of populate a new group of potentials. And there was Quinn and this sexy picture, cowboy-esque. I was like, vegan, cowboy, uh, sexy. Yeah, I like. So I liked, and maybe I super liked. I don't know if that was an option or something. And I think I sent you a message. I can't remember the very first interaction, but I know. Didn't you screenshot? I really have.
I did. I have since canceled said app because the search is over, to say the least. But yeah, before doing that, I screenshotted the whole interaction. The 2023 courting, if you will, the volley of messages that got us here. Because it was that special, and yeah, that had never that experience with any dating apps obviously had never transpired like this or anything. And yeah, I do have screenshots of them, and I think you should play yourself and I should play myself, and we should maybe just run through that, how it
Let's
went
do
down.
it. I mean, I can't imagine anyone not wanting to
Of
hear
course.
this. So let's do it.
Here we go. So July 14th, 2023. Hi, Ella. Your quantum answer wins.
Okay, and I think you've got to explain, yeah,
We
where
should
that
give
came
some
from
color to
because I
that.
don't have also my profile. I don't know
Right.
what
So when this
yeah.
beautiful woman liked me, I can't remember if it was a super like or not. Um, like any dating app, give a breakdown of wants, desires, trying to paint a picture of who you are. And in the spiritual part, the religious part, she highlighted quantum in parentheses. Not only was she breathtaking, she was vegan, and she used that word quantum, and that really perked my ears, to say the least. And so much so that I reached out instantly. And
Yes.
yeah, so we'll start there. Hi, Ella. Your quantum answer wins.
Ah, hey Quinn. What does it win me? That's flirty. That's so flirty.
My attention, for one. Not sure what else. A beautiful woman with an open, curious mind is what I'm looking for. Are you currently traveling in Texas?
Nice. Curiosity is kind of my thing. It's amazing how life becomes so much more peaceful when we let go of the need to be right and explore life with curiosity and compassion. When did you start down the quantum rabbit hole? I was passing through Dallas yesterday on my way back to Miami from a speaking gig in Cali.
So true. The duality of right and wrong is such a hindrance of self, yet everything must be defined as such in 3D. Asking why and leading with the heart are the best lenses to view this existence. My journey started 4 years ago when I stopped drinking, although I really started down the rabbit hole 2 years ago when I started to learn about frequency, vibration, and all the limits the matrix imposes. Oh, nice. Do you travel a lot giving talks?
Beautifully put. And was going vegan a part of that same journey or a totally different one? I'm starting to do more traveling for speaking, which excites me. My business is mostly online otherwise, which also gives me freedom to travel, though I'm in a reinvention phase at the moment.
Thank you. It just flows. When did your journey with quantum start? I was already eating organically and sourcing meat from local farms or through hunting, but after reading and listening to my intuition, I realized veganism was a missing piece of my journey. Couldn't be happier with that decision. Looks like you've been vegan for some time. That is exciting about your speaking and traveling. Congrats. What's your business, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to hear more about the reinvention phase as well.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been vegan for 28 years and have been working to create a more compassionate world for all beings ever since stopping eating meat at the age of 7. I went fully vegan at the age of 15. In a nutshell, ellamajors.com is my website and home for my newest podcast. I hit a bottom last year and ended up in Peru on a 12-day ayahuasca retreat, which I'm still integrating. So I'm in a phase where I'm working on exploring new directions and projects. What about you? Career, work?
Oh, wow. Great stuff. You're amazing. You should be very proud of your work. I can't imagine how hard coaching can be on you. I'm a concert promoter. I work for C3 Presents. We're a subsidiary of Live Nation. I book 7 different venues around the country, a couple festivals, and do some consulting for brands who need help translating the music business.
Thanks for your kind words. I really do love hosting the podcast, interviewing extraordinary humans and sharing their stories and wisdom. Sounds like a cool job. Do you enjoy it? What kinds of music do you like best? Do you get to attend a lot of shows as a perk?
The future is in podcasts for sure. You're on the right path. I do love my job. I'm a music fan first and foremost, so it's a lot of fun. I love all kinds of music, blues, rock, country, bluegrass, house, world, you name it. I'm fortunate to be able to see all of it. Are you a music fan? And then she didn't respond for a day, and I got a little nervous. It was such an incredible back and forth. I
It
had
was.
never experienced anything like that. And I felt I had a fish on the line, and
So not
so
a vegan phrase.
yeah, so yes, correct. I that's funny.
Yes, it is.
So my last volley was, may I have your number? Would love to
Mhm.
talk outside this app if you're game.
I'm game. And
I'm
I
game. And she
gave
gave me
you
your
my,
number.
which I'm not
And
going to give right now, but yes.
yes, please don't. And
Yeah.
and that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
That's
Wow. I hadn't read that. I was so yeah, kind of blown away when you sent it to me because I didn't remember a lot of how we got started and how wow, just that the connection piece and for me to have found somebody that can talk about quantum rabbit hole and who's vegan and just also something I had noticed in dating apps is just I mean, just the simple thing of being able to go back and forth, to be curious about the other human being on the other side enough to ask real questions, relevant questions based on really listening or reading, the previous comments and asking something so relevant. And even something that simple. And I think probably people that have tried out dating apps understand that that is not something to be taken for granted. Just that simple fact. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, the level of intimacy just in that one word quantum, knew that I could ask those things and that I would get those kind of answers. It was very serendipitous and just just so romantic and beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I was in instantly just over that, and it was magical. And I knew I had to get to Miami.
Yeah. So it was just a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was it. We FaceTimed for a couple different times, spoke on the phone, texting, all that fun stuff. And then, I was very forward. I think actually our first phone call, I offered up, yeah, no, I can come to Miami.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there there was a pause. I remember that. Like, who is this stranger? He wants to be in my front door. Yeah, maybe he's there now. But
You never
yeah,
know with these things.
yeah. Yeah, so I had to be gentle with it, but the energy was reciprocated, the frequency was there, the
Yeah.
vibration was everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember you saying that. And what I appreciated about that, even though I don't think I'm not sure if I just didn't respond or just said, okay, good to know kind of thing. Just it's important to also be be safe on these
Oh
things,
yeah, of
you know.
course, of course.
And one of the complaints I hear my friends making about dating apps is like, well, they never lead to anything. Like you might have a
Hmm.
little connection and you text back and forth and then one person disappears. And that's kind of the nature. And I was so glad you asked me for my number because I wasn't checking those things and often daily. And I think that is what happens. People kind of check and they're so kind of disenfranchised by past experiences that they're like, yeah, I mean, what are the chances that this is
Hmm.
actually something? Right.
Hmm.
So I appreciated you not putting pressure, but also putting that offer out quickly. And it was just the second time when you asked that I said, yes, let's make it happen.
Yeah,
And
I had love on the line. I couldn't let you get away.
yeah, yeah, thank
That
goodness.
was very obvious from the get-go.
Yeah. No, there was an immediate connection and
Hmm.
and so many things, you know, and I think there's so many things that we have in common and there are things that we, you know, are differences. And I think both are really important because of the things that I'm looking for in a relationship. Part of that is someone who's able to challenge me. And if you're
Yeah.
exactly the same as somebody else, you're not going to be able to challenge them. You know, if you're, and we have so much to learn from each other. And I think we have so much to share with each other, but also to share with the world. And that's why I am just, this is why I invited you to be on the show and why I feel really called for us to be able to share some of these messages together. You know,
Most definitely. Um,
did this occur to you like from the beginning? Did this would happen?
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
intuitively needed. I mean, I think I told you when the first time I came to Miami, it's like, we need to figure out how to work together. We need to
Mm-hmm.
figure out something. Yeah, the yin and yang of it, um, yeah, I mean, I was searching for the divine feminine, which I wasn't fully aware of, but now is just so obvious. And yeah, that push pull, the similarities, the continuity of it all, was just in sync more than, yeah, just again, can't put words to just the how it all fell into place,
Yeah.
the puzzle pieces. And yeah, I'm overjoyed to be on your podcast and can't wait to share everything, share share our love.
Yeah. And our stories. And I think we're gonna keep this first episode short,
Yeah.
kind of as a great little introduction of how we met, just a few things about us with that back and forth that we just read. And what I'm excited about is also just sharing in future episodes both of our journeys and the similarities, the differences, and like you said, I just the whole feminine thing. It's so interesting because just these last few years, I mean, we are coming together at this perfect time in both of our lives and both of our uh, you know, as our paths are crossing, and they're crossing, I believe, for a reason. I've been exploring my own feminine energy. I've, you know, there's been a lot of trauma in my life that has kind of helped cause me to put up this tough exterior that um, has been blocking a lot of my feminine energy. I've had this, and this is why I've been a Muay Thai practitioner for 20 years. You know, 20 years ago when I started, I didn't even know what sparring gear was. And it was a rush to be able to spar with my badass coaches who would beat the shit out of me, you guys. I was black and blue from head to toe. And I was so proud of that. I was so proud of that, you know? And so my life has been about so much about compassion for others, for animals, number one, for people who are suffering, for populations that are suffering, oppressed, and so little compassion for myself. And these last few years I've introduced this work of developing this compassion for myself, and in doing that, being able to release the blockages that are keeping me from fully shining my light as not only a human but a woman. And so it just, I mean, our meeting, and for you to be this masculine human who also embodies what it means to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be sensitive to energies. And I'm going on and on here, but my point is that this just seems so perfect for us to be coming together at this moment in time in both of our journeys of discovery, to be able to now to share with a bigger audience. And so I'm really excited. That's all.
I'm in.
Yeah, I know.
I love you.
I love you. And we're here to spread love to everybody listening as well. So we will be back for another episode soon to really share. And I know when I expressed some things about my journey away from alcohol, and the fact that Quinn's here has been 4 years now sober, and I know so many people when I express this were like, yeah, I'm ready to start down that path too, not because I'm, an addict, but because I know that alcohol is not serving me. So how can I do that? We've got so much to share around that, around moving towards plant-based eating. What else are you excited to share about?
I'm excited to talk about music. So near and
Music.
dear to my heart, which is
Yes.
woven through all these things that we're talking about, whether we are aware of it or not.
Ooh, can you give our audience one thing that I loved when we were first getting to know each other was you would send me music that I was unfamiliar with. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Is there a one artist or song that maybe people in the mainstream haven't heard? And I know the one for me that you sent me that I started bawling. I was out running. I put the song on that you sent me. I actually looked at the lyrics and I had never heard it before. I wasn't into country music and it hit me so hard. Do you remember which song that was?
Sure, Sturgill Simpson.
Yes.
Turtles on the Way Down.
Yes.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, people are familiar with him, but
It's not.
yeah. I mean, it's one of my love languages, and being curious and loving music and vibration and all that. It's just a beautiful form of intimacy, is sending somebody music. Not only, it's just a perfect vehicle to express everything. And I knew if that hit, then we'd be off to the races. Yeah,
Big time.
which is cool, which is
And I
great.
put that song. I don't know if you were on my newsletter list then. And if anyone is not on my The Way newsletter list, this is another topic. I know we're going to wrap up here in a moment, but when I started The Way newsletter, which is my monthly newsletter, please sign up if you haven't already. I give my top 5 latest badass discoveries about recipes and workouts and music and quotes and books and podcast episodes and all of the above. And I put that song in The Way newsletter with a link to the Spotify. And when I started that newsletter, the way was short for the way out is through. Now, since then, I am very much debating whether I'm changing that to the way out is in. And if the way through is in. So maybe they all go together. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All answers lie within.
Yeah. All right. We're going to end it there. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too.
Hey.